Over the last few years, we've seen our fair share of e-commerce lawsuits and business lawsuits of all kinds against gurus, against Fashion Nova, all these big brands. It seems like in order to truly make it, you got to get sued at least a couple times. But in today's video, I want to share with you something that I just came across that I had to share with you. So make sure you stay till the end because this might be quite shocking to some of you, especially if you have an e-commerce business or have been wanting to create a business. Hopefully this doesn't scare you too much away from it, but as you see, so there's this brand called Boohoo that is basically a Fashion Nova type of brand. And they sell a bunch of stuff. They're actually a massive, massive business. And last month, they actually agreed to pay $197 million to settle a case alleging it advertised fake discounts on its site and on Nasty Gal and Pretty Little Thing, which I guess they're affiliated with. Now, this guy here, Rob Freund, make sure you follow him. He's a lawyer, apparently, for brands and agencies. And he says, remember, using fake reference prices to run sales is illegal under the FTC Act and California's laws. Let's do a deeper dive. That's actually kind of silly. I didn't know. Actually, I've known that things like that are illegal, but it seems like there's a lot of loopholes around it, right? Because how can you prove that that's not the original price that you intended the product to be? But let's continue reading here. I'm very curious about this subject. Let me know what you guys think about this right away. Obviously, we're going to continue here. Don't leave. But what's the risk of advertising slashed former prices? In May of 2020, a class action lawsuit was filed against Boohoo Group, which owns the online brands Pretty Little Thing and Nasty Gal, among others. Right away, before we continue, that's actually kind of insane alpha right there. I did not know that one company actually owned all three of those companies, which are all basically the same thing, just branded slightly different. And somehow they're all massively successful. That's kind of interesting, right? But last month, Boohoo agreed to pay $197 million to settle the case. Now, the lawsuit says that Boohoo advertises fake and inflated comparison reference prices to deceive customers into a false belief that the sale price is a deeply discounted bargain price. This is something that a lot of businesses do, so I'm actually quite shocked that they're having to pay this amount of money. That's so sad. $200 million. Imagine having to just dish out $200 million because of this. But apparently, yeah, if you slash your prices without when it's fake, right? When the product actually doesn't cost that much, I guess, then it's illegal. It's at least in the state of California, right? This isn't a worldwide thing, but in the state of California, this is the case. In other words, Boohoo's sale is not really a sale at all. It is a scam. All the reference prices on Boohoo's website are fake. They're not original, regular, retail, or former prices, plaintiffs alleged. So I guess just to kind of highlight something he said here, in order to, let's say, get away with this, right? I'm not condoning that you slash your prices in a fake manner, but when you add products to your store, when you're creating your website, your business, I guess you should just start with the original price, right? Like whatever price you think something should be worth. And if you want to discount it later to get more sales, do it after you already publish the product so that you can prove that that was the former price. That's what I'm getting from this so far, but let's continue. Boohoo asked the court to dismiss the case, arguing that the customers received exactly what they paid for. That $40 shirt was worth $40, even if it was advertised as having a list price of $60. So what's the harm? Okay. The court disagreed. It ruled the customers adequately alleged that they would not have bought the items at all if they knew that there was no real discount. So Boohoo was unjustly enriched because of the failed bid to dismiss. The settlement value drastically increased. Wow, okay. I didn't know that's how courts worked, but I guess if the case isn't dismissed, the settlement value goes up a lot. Class action lawsuits like this one have been common for years and aren't going away. Now it's a great time to review your pricing practices to ensure you aren't risking similar claims. Man, this is so crazy. So somebody here says, such a ridiculous law. Why don't we see more of these lawsuits though? I feel like it's an extreme common pricing strategy. Hundreds, if not thousands of brands do it. What's stopping them from being sued? Great question. I have the same one. Probably hundreds of these cases have been filed, certainly. Hundreds of demand letters have been sent. If a brand hasn't been sued for it yet, they either will be or they're just lucky. Dang. That's so interesting. So this is, I mean, obviously when we see these things happen, it's always these big, massive brands. So it makes sense. These brands have so much exposure that, it kind of makes sense that they would be the ones caught doing these things. But I just find it so silly that a customer would say, I wouldn't have bought that if I'd known it wasn't on discount. I guess it just goes to show how powerful a discount really is. Something to keep in mind if you are an entrepreneur, but just don't make fake sales. It's really, the conclusion here. Just make your product priced at whatever you think it's worth, whatever you want to sell it at. And if you want to run a sale after, do it after. So something to consider, probably not something you have to worry about too much at a small scale, right? But this is something that if you are a big business, and some people in our community do run big businesses. I mean, at the Ecommerce agency, which is one of my businesses, we run ads for 8-figure brands. And I've found these brands mainly through my channel. So I know there's brands out there that are massive that watch these videos. So some of you guys, you may benefit from knowing this. And that's basically why I made the video outside of just plain entertainment for the entrepreneur community here. One thing you should note is, the Ecommerce Lab, we still got a couple spots for a discounted price in the description. It's a lifetime access price. The theme of the community is to not trust the gurus, trust the data. So we provide a ton of data from our research team and provide a community of highly vetted entrepreneurs. So, the whole community is paid. So, people in here are serious. And there's actually people in here that are totally crushing it, even beyond what we're doing at our businesses. So that's what's super inspiring to me. And, if you are an entrepreneur out there, consider joining. I would love to have you be a part of it. I'm traveling right now, but once I get back, we're going to do the calls again. We do these every week. And yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, we say on the site that we do them every 2 weeks. That's like the minimum. But lately, we've been doing them every week because they're so fun and valuable. But people are so helpful in here. I mean, as you can see people like getting help with all their stuff. We have dedicated team members for it. I'm in here every single day as well, just actively engaging with the community because it's so fun. But yeah, quite interesting thing here, right? I mean, it's just insane that something like this would happen. I would hate to have to pay out $200 million for something like this. I'm sure Boohoo will be fine. I'm sure they'll be okay after this. They're totally crushing it. With all the brands that they own combined, they're easily doing over $1 billion in sales, or at least are worth over $1 billion. But $200 million is still so much money to just pay out of pocket. I don't know how these things work. Maybe they'll have to pay it over time as a sort of debt. I have no idea. But either way, this is huge news. And, it sucks for them. But I'm sure they'll be fine over time. It's just interesting to see that, a lot of brands do this type of stuff. So I just wonder what it actually takes to get fined for this, like at this level. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.